In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate to you guys mTracker 3D from MotionVFX. Now, this isn't a sponsored video, but full disclosure, MotionVFX have allowed me to use this software. It is fun, this pack. It's a little bit like playing a video game. Like you're kind of building something, you're getting creative and just trying out different ways of using the text. I'm going to show you guys some shots I took with the DJI Mini 3 Pro. So the drone's going to do a pullback. And then what I'm going to show you is how we're going to put the text in and use the 3D space. So the viewer isn't going to expect to see the text and then it reveals. First thing we do is we load up mTracker 3D onto our drone shots and then click track. This takes a couple of minutes. So I'm going to make myself a brew and I'll join you in a second. Once the software's analysed your footage, you want to click on copy track and then drop the title that you want to use on top of the footage, and then you want to make sure this is the same size and length of the section that you're going to use. Okay. And then you click on your title and click paste track, and that's done. Right, okay, now here's the fun part. So for this, I'm going to click animation in and out off, and I'm going to call this tropical bar. All houses in the UK should have their own little tropical bars, shouldn't they? You now want to click on this little target. Now this is important because I was forgetting to do this. You know, I have that one little bit that you miss out and it all messes up. So make sure you click on that little target, and then also, it's a good tip here because I didn't do this to start with. Before you select the area that you want the track to go on, if you click shift, then it makes sure it's all straight, and then you can always play around with the angle afterwards. So then click on the area you want to use, and I'm going to create like a 3D look because I want it to, the drone's going to shoot through that gap there and reveal. So I want to reveal this sign, the tropical bar. Okay, so the content scale, let's knock that down a little bit, about to there, I reckon. Okay, and let's reduce the size of the title. Let's reduce that to 35 because we're going to spin that around. So we're going to click on content rotation and let's move. You see here, this is now spinning it round, so it's creating more of a 3D look, which when your drone moves backwards, that's going to look pretty cool. Okay, and we'll just move that to minus, just line that up a little bit there. And that's good to go. So now, oh, one more thing. Okay, so you see, it's very subtle on this. It can be more obvious in other things, but we can have a shadow effect. Okay, so you notice the shadow of where it says tropical bar. Let's just reduce the opacity. Look at the environment. At the moment, that's a little bit too strong compared to the plants. In sunny weather, occasionally it's sunny in England, then the shadow effect's going to be stronger. So I'm going to reduce the opacity there and also the light direction. Let's just line that up a little better with the footage. Okay, and now we're good to go. So your drone flies back and it reveals that tropical bar. Of course, you can play around with the text, maybe go with some text, like a font that fits in better with the tropical vibe. But this is a property shoot for me, so I do want it to have that kind of clean look to it as well. Now, mTracker 3D isn't the cheapest software out there, so those of you guys that have been saving up for your new drone or your iPhone 15, I've got you guys covered because there is some really cool free software that I've used for a long time from MotionVFX, and this is called mCamRig. So you know in my videos where at the start I often use this right, this is important, come over here, use it in vlogs. And it can also be quite cool when you're doing a gesture and the camera zooms in and zooms out to emphasize that gesture. So mCamRig, it's completely free software to download and to keep using. So give you a demonstration of how I use this. So camera positions, at the moment, it goes in a little bit too far. Whoa, too far, too much. Okay, so I want to reduce this. Look at that, it's going in on my chin there. So knock this down to -250, and then it's blurry because you also need to reduce the focus offset to -250 as well. And I also like to knock the shallow depth of field effect down a little. I do like it, but it just gives it a little bit of a blur when you zoom in, okay? So I knock that down to about 25, and then we need to make sure that this makes sense with the composition to have it about right eye level there. Okay, so then you can see this effect here, pushing in. Oh, it's a little, let's have it a little bit. There we go, and that looks pretty good there. So yeah, really handy piece of software. You can also, now this sort of scenario, I wouldn't necessarily use this, but this can look really cool in certain things, certain shots. For free software, this is pretty cool, isn't it? It's a pretty nice little freebie. And the great thing about this is you can get used to how the MotionVFX downloading system is very good. I've downloaded programs in the past and you have to drag it into folders and it's quite complicated. MotionVFX, to be fair, it's all very streamlined. It feels much more advanced than other video editing software where, you know, it can be a little bit confusing in the downloading process. This is very good. I will also throw into the mix that Final Cut Pro does have its own free tracking software, and I'd strongly recommend getting acquainted with that. I'm not saying one is better than the other. The MotionVFX one, it's creating that 3D look with using text. Get used to Final Cut Pro X free first, get your mCamRig free as well first. Just get used to these things, and then the 3D tracking and what you can do with property. They've also got this M3D area. I used this on some shots I did at Barcelona, and this can create some really cool shots. So if you're going to get into property, then you can go to your clients and say, guys, I've got this 3D tracking software. You're sounding a bit more pro when you're going up to them, you can be a bit more confident. There's a lot to be liked about this software. It's not the cheapest software, but if you're going to use it for professional use, then I'm sure you'll very quickly pay off what it cost. So cheers for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.